We interrupt this program to bring you this report. The Forever Guitar Pick Company responded after seeing a YouTuber have an ear orgasm after using an elongated vintage penny as a guitar pick. And the result is the Humbucker Helper. Elongated vintage penny, but now smooth to give you rocking speed and tone. Very limited quantities, so click below. We now return you to your program.
Hey y'all, it's Shitpost Friday.
On a night like this, it gets pretty damn hot!
Hello all you Chads and Stacys, Brad the Guitologist here. It is time for...
Shitpost Friday.
First up is Shitpost Friday. Did you guys see this? This is Paul Stanley at a Sioux Falls. I think it's Sioux Falls. Is that where he's at? No, Sioux City, excuse me. This pyrotechnic goes off and his hair catches on fire. And it's on fire for a good probably 10 seconds before anybody is able to get it out. But the remarkable thing about this is the dude doesn't even miss a beat. It's almost as if he doesn't realize his hair is on fire for the first half of the experience, and then when he does realize his hair is on fire and people are trying to put it out, he just keeps playing.
I tell you, I got this feeling it's going to be another hot night for rock and roll!
He doesn't miss a chord, he doesn't miss a note singing. Of course, that could be because he has been lip syncing, which has been brought up repeatedly. If you watch or listen to Eddie Trunk at all, he's been criticizing them a lot because apparently they've been caught doing this. Lip syncing to some of their songs on this supposedly final tour of theirs, which you never know. I think the tour I saw them on, God, it must have been late 90s, was supposed to be a farewell tour even back then. So that was 20 years ago, and they're still doing it now. But anyway, I just thought that was remarkable. But it's what's even more remarkable is he is not the first. He's not the first guy to have his hair set on fire on stage, and he's not even the first guy in his own band to have his hair set on fire on stage. Back in the early 70s, the same thing happened to Gene Simmons. He spits fire in the shows, and he's trying to get ready to spit fire here, and it just blows up in his hair. But you can see Gene, you know, he's not quite the showman as Paul, apparently. He couldn't stand there and take it like Paul. But yeah, dude, man, just stands there and just takes it like a champ.
I got a feeling. Let me ask you something, people. Is it as hot out there as it is up here?
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
How you people doing tonight? How are you good people out there? It's nights like this get pretty hot, yeah? But we about to cool things down. We about to heat things up at the same time with some rock and roll. Yeah.
Check.
Are y'all ready to have a rock and roll party? I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna come see you people. Hello, Toronto. It might be cold out there tonight, but it's feeling real hot up here. It's hotter than hell. We love all you good people. All right, there's something I want to know. How many of you ladies in the audience tonight? I mean, how many of you females in the audience tonight? To get even more specific, how many of you ladies ain't never had nothing between your legs that you can recall? And you ain't never had no amnesia before? Well, this song is for you. A thing or two about her. Woo! Well, I know she'll only make you cry. She'll let you walk the street beside her. Woo! For what she wants, she'll pass you by. Everybody says she's looking good, and the lady knows it's understood. Strut up.
So obviously the next big thing in the news this past week was the Grammys. What can I say about the Grammys that I didn't already say last year? I mean, you might as well just tune out. I mean, if you're into rock music at all in any way, shape, or form, just watch something different. You know, you can read the newspapers or read the internet, never newspapers, like anybody does that. You can read the internet the next day and figure out if your favorite people won or not, but man, this shit's not even worth watching anymore. The only bright spot that I kind of saw in my post-Grammys catch-up on YouTube was this new artist. I guess I would describe her as R&B. I don't know if she's classified as R&B, but I would say she's R&B. Her song here at least feels R&B to me, and she's black, so I guess that automatically makes her R&B, right? If she's not rap. Kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, but yeah, I thought this was cool. Cool guitar. She's got one like a clear lucite Fender. But she does actually play guitar, and here in one portion she actually takes a solo. She even tries some tapping. It's not a very long solo, and frankly, it's somewhat of a pedestrian solo. But the fact is, you've got a lady musician who is sort of R&B ish in category, playing a Fender Strat, playing a cool clear lucite Fender Strat, and also taking a solo. So that was kind of cool. I thought that was a surprise, and it was a far cry from Camila Cabello's Milli Vanilli thing that happened a while back. I reported on that. She basically was on, I think, the Ellen DeGeneres show or something. It was just embarrassing. But at least this girl, I mean, she's playing her instrument and she's singing as well, and you can tell she's doing both. So it's not like she's playing the tracks or anything like that. So that's at least refreshing. So maybe there's some hope that the rap artists will sort of come around and take some pity on us and throw us a bone and say, hey man, the rock is not so bad. We need some more rock before our shit starts to get really burned out. Too late. Because I think that's probably what's happening. And the only reason you got like Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think, is because Post Malone apparently likes them. You wouldn't have even had them, I don't think, if it wasn't for that. But yeah, again, I'm really not that interested in the Grammys anyway. Some of my old favorites, sometimes get nominated for awards, and that's always nice. Like John Prine, he's got this new album called He's got this new album out called Tree of Forgiveness that's done really well. Apparently it's his highest charting album of his entire career, and so that's really good for him. But there's also like an hour and a half long interview that you can see on CBS. I'll put a link down in the description of that. So that's new as well if you like John Prine, if you're like me. He was also recently, just last month, he was inducted into the Songwriter Hall of Fame, which I was kind of shocked because I couldn't believe he wasn't already in the Songwriter Hall of Fame. What's funny is he's actually going into the Songwriter Hall of Fame at the same time as Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. If you guys remember Missy Elliott, she's or any of her songs, there's really no comparison between what she does and a John Prine song, if you ask me. I mean, if you remember the song Get Your Freak On, for instance, that's the one that sticks out to me because it's the one that drove me fucking insane every time it came on the radio. It's do 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 do, and it just did that over and over again the entire fucking song, and it made me want to find who wrote that song and just wring their fucking neck, because there were some situations where you can't get away from it. You're in a mall or something and it's on, and you're just like, God, stop, Yeah, so the great John Prine, I mean, a songwriter extraordinaire if ever there was one. The Shakespeare of songwriting, if you ask me. He's up there with Dylan and Paul Simon and people like that, and John Lennon and Paul McCartney. He's up there with the greats, in my book. Fantastic songwriter, and he's been doing it for so long, it's not even funny. So to see him get in is great, but to see him go in at the same time as Missy Elliott is just like a reminder Just a reminder of how skewed everything is and how really unfair, I guess, life is.
And that's all I have to say about that.
So it seems like there's a trend on all the YouTube channels, people talking about cheap gear. And I did notice this video from Shane at In the Blues where he's talking about the best 50 cents you'll ever spend for guitar, music gear on a budget, and he shows you a really cheap, simple strap lock that you can get apparently for like 50 cents. I'll do you even one better than that. Take your 50 cents, put it back in your pocket, and do this instead.
Here comes another hard tap. Nothing but the hard tap. I promise it's just a hard tap. A hard tap for you.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, guys, if you'll remember a couple of weeks back, I showed you the pics that the guy had sent me from the Flatwoods Monster Museum over in West Virginia. He sent me these pennies. He sent me a whole handful of these that were smashed in their little smashing penny machine, and these make fantastic picks, and I just fell in love with these for electric guitar. If you're already a fan of Forever Pick, Rob at Forever Pick is making these now. I think he found a guy who had one of the little smashing machines that smashes pennies, and he's smashing these pre-1982 pennies now, and he's selling them on the website, so definitely go check those out. Plus, I wanted to show you the records that I got from the guys over at Dream Machine, from Matthew and Doris. When I found out about Dream Machine, I mean, I've known about them for a long time, and I've always kind of rocked out to their stuff on their YouTube page, but you know, I decided to go ahead and buy. They had like a $50 thing. You can go on their website. It's like you get both of their albums, both of their CDs also. You also get, you know, a bunch of stickers, and you get like a signed promo picture, you know, one of the nice ones printed on photo stock. You also get like a t-shirt as well, which you guys probably saw me wear last week. Great albums. I've been rocking the hell out of these. But also, I went back and explored some more of Matthew's music with his other bands, and purchased this album and asked him to sign it, and he was good enough to do that. Thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate that, man. This album right here, Bare Wires, is one of his other bands. Great album. You can listen to it on his YouTube page for free, or you can buy the album to support him like I was trying to do. I say trying to do because he ended up sending me probably more stuff than I paid for that album just for free, but I get to say thank you, I suppose, and thank you for doing that, Matthew. Oh, man, that's awesome. He sent me a 7-inch of a band called Warm Soda that he's also in. Must be a really prolific songwriter because he's got several albums. He's also got some solo stuff, which is, I have not listened to a lot of his solo stuff yet. I think I listened to maybe a few songs that were kind of scattered on YouTube. But I can't wait to crack these open and listen to these, so thank you for that, Matthew. I love this photo on the back of this one. It's just hilarious. I don't know if you can see it or not, but he's got a switchblade. Cool artwork. And a great artist. This dude, his songwriting skills are fantastic. And I'll tell you what, I had to actually go onto Discogs to buy this, and the reason I did was because I listened to it on their YouTube page, and I was absolutely blown away by this album. This album right here, if you like kind of The Strokes or Weezer, if you're into like really poppy, catchy songwriting, lots of hooks, you know, no frills, you know, this is an awesome album. This is really one of my new favorite albums. Warm Soda, and I think this is their third album, but anyway, this is the one that I ended up buying on Discogs because they were out of it on his website, so I decided just to go ahead and get it because I decided I couldn't live without this album. This is a great album, but definitely go and support those guys. Matthew and Doris have definitely been really cool. They sent me a lot of stickers. I put some stickers and things up, and as always, when people send me things, if it's a sticker or something, you guys might... you might find some of the things that you sent to me like kind of stuck here and there because, you know, I try to put the personality back into the space that you guys are going to be watching week to week. So, but yeah, I was trawling Facebook the other day and I noticed this thing. There was somebody who had posted this unbelievably ghastly thing. I have no idea what, you know, I thought Gibson had tried to pare down their offerings and like be a little more sensible with the stuff that they were putting out. But look at this thing. Look at this monstrosity. Who's going to buy this? I mean, what idiot lawyer is going to pay $9,000? That's $8,999 for something that doesn't even look correct. You know, sometimes gold tops will sort of green in areas when they're real old. But this thing, I don't know, man. This thing looks like it's just been to hell and back, and not in a good way to me. I mean, look at this gash up here by the neck. What were they doing here? Did they make a mistake and just decide to run with it? Or were they basing this on something? Or, you know, if they're basing it on a known example, you know, I can kind of understand it, I guess. But at the same time, man, this just looks horrendous. And then you've got these long gashes on either side of the strings, you know, and it just looks really unnatural. Actually, it doesn't look like anything anybody would leave normally on a guitar. Even if they played the shit out of it, it doesn't look like anyone would ever wear these wear marks in a guitar like this. It just looks unnatural. It looks silly. You know, it looks like they've gotten the finish crackle, you know, the finish checking looks pretty good, I suppose. You can flip it around the back side, and the back of the guitar, I guess, looks passable if you're into that relicking thing. But holy shit, man, the top of this thing is just ghastly. The only thing that looks decent about it is the headstock. They didn't go overboard with the headstock and like break half of it off. Like, if they really wanted to be authentic, you know, something that had been played this hard obviously would have had a broken headstock. So they should have just smashed the headstock, you know, bolted it back together or something like that, and then you could charge maybe 10 grand for it because you had to do an extra step. But geez, man, I just really hope they get away from this shit. This is appalling to me. I mean, if they could sell that, I guess more power to them. But fuck, $9 grand for this ghastly piece of trash. I mean, and it doesn't even have it doesn't even have matching pickups. It's like an early 50s. It's like somebody took an early 50s Les Paul, played the shit out of it, and then routed out for a humbucker in the bridge position and just, you know, and said, "Oh, good enough." But man, it just looks horrendous. Don't ever do this again, Gibson, please. You're embarrassing yourself. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for Shitpost Friday this week. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've been sick again this week. I was sick for a good portion of the week, actually hacking my guts up again. Just when I thought I was over that last sickness, I got it again this week. So, and actually, just like that. I don't have too much for you this week, but I hope what I did offer has tickled your fancy, and you'll be back next week for more Shitpost Friday. And until then, we'll see y'all later.
You know, doing what I do best.
Oh, shit!
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.